these are going to upload right away. I just came into town. I saw somebody they call Crazy Joe at the Stripes in Flower Bluff. I had to stop to get cigarettes, but I couldn't get him. The line was too long. I said hi to Joe, but he kind of Joe was acting out. Sometimes he acts crazy. But he knew it was me, so he just kind of like, gave me like a hint. Almost like he might be able to be in his right mind, but he was acting out, like in the parking lot there. And then I'm thinking I'm going to come over here because some of you cops and DAs think he's giving, so I was going to show you the insurance job, the arson job, and then give you, and I'll discuss it now. Because it pisses me off that cops get away with crimes and everybody in the neighborhood knows it. And you seem like a nice guy, Mike. Not Mark, one of your other cops by the same name. But then I had to stop at one of the stores over here to get my cigarettes. And I figured, let me pick one. Everybody's getting breakfast, so the lines are long. It's just kind of little off-the-road store in Rockfield. Tommy Crab is on the corner, but I'm already in the mode of, like you can see. And Tommy's just right out the corner, and I almost got into it with Tommy one day. So I seen him, and I tried to have a nice face. And I was surprised he was way out there, and I went in to get my cigarettes. And I was going to come out and give Tommy a cigarette. I still got the dollar. He was gone. So, this was where I was going to do the video. And we'll be merciful. But what you had is a cop that did an arson job on his truck. How do you know that, John? Because he claimed that he did an arson job on his truck because of the payments. I was a fire investigator for 25 years. Every firefighter did not have that certification. I had it. It's called fire inspector. And I held that certification for 25 years. And sometimes when people can't make payments, they burn their vehicles. That was an arson job by a cop. We also had a wonderful little animal out here. This is where I do my meetings. I won't give the names of anybody else. I'll just tell you what they did. The same officer on Ccpd, who might drive by here any moment. Mike, you seem like a nice guy. Your wife, I met you both. And for your wife, look, I deal with these issues. I don't look for them. And maybe Mike's wife, he's a cop, not Markle. Maybe his wife too, because it's a remarriage. I know the people. Maybe she's surprised too, thinking, oh, I didn't know it was, okay? But for the public, they're so pissed off for many of the much more severe things. This neighborhood, right there where I do my meetings, let me put it that way. I was going to stop right there, but a family member, I didn't see them, is home, and I said, I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to just use my name, Mike the cop, who lives right there. Okay? This is off of Rodfield Road, and but there was a nice pig, neighborhood pig. I pet that pig before. I think they used to have a bandana on the pig, and it was sort of like people have them as pets. And it was cute, big. Sure enough, in the news one day, this made it to the top news. Somebody dumped a pig. They had to get rid of it. They dumped it on the highway here in Corpus Christi. It also had tire marks. I guess it was hit by a vehicle. That was his. He wanted to get rid of it because I guess there was problems and would just put it. And they showed it in the paper because at first people thought, was this a wild pig that roamed out on the highway? But then they said, oh no, he was nice to us. I pet that pig. And so, a cop had a problem with it and wanted to get rid of it, dumped it on the highway. That was in the news. So that's just two. And you would think, when I went one day to shoot my gun legally at the sharpshooter, I'll never forget, because I don't go to the sharpshooter or, firing ranges. And it was the first time, so I said, well, am I supposed to carry it in like this? It's unloaded. But just carrying it from I don't have it on me now, but just carrying it from my vehicle, I said, well, I'm a retired firefighter and I want to shoot today. I did a little video on that. And the guy looked at me because I guess I brought it in without the case or something. It was unloaded. And he said, cops can arrest you right now if they stop you and you don't have in the case or whatever. He said, but they're very strict law enforcement in this city. Real strict. So those are two real cases. Just not even me seeking. Those are two very real cases of crime that were not made up. And yesterday I posted on animals and abuse. And that pig that I pet, that was dumped on the fucking highway, made it to the news a few months ago. That was the pig. So, if you're a fucking cop in this city, you break law with impunity. And you say, now we're going to investigate it. We can go right out there. I don't know if he moved that truck, but it was a fucking insurance job that he did. Right there. Right in the neighborhood. We had a firefighter that was investigated many years ago for arson on his trailer. He left our department. I won't give you his name. I remember his name. He also was in the Navy like me. So sometimes people within law enforcement, even in that case a firefighter, sometimes they feel comfortable to do stuff. And I would just say this. If Mike and his wife, who I have met, they seem like nice people. I would think that his wife would probably marrying an officer, and I'm sure they're in love and all of that, and I'm not demeaning any of that. But even if you watch these, I'm sure you yourself seem like a very sweet girl. I'm sure you yourself were very surprised. And just to know, and I'm sure you still love your husband, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with your relationship, but I'm sure you're surprised when you realize, you would have thought yourself that I didn't know that they would be so flagrant. And I had to do this. I had to explain this so you knew I wasn't just off the top of my head. And those were the two crimes. An arson job on a truck that the payments were high, burnt it right out there. You're looking at the back of the house from here. And he might have moved it by now. And then that was the other one. And the other one pissed me off too, because I saw that pig in the news with tire tracks on it. And I had to do this because the way these guys work, many years ago, I picked up some of the guys at Timmins and I was going to take them to the island to do baptism fellowship. And I told this story before. But there's a cop that was in Flower Bluff, and he'd asked the people at Timmins, or somebody from Timmins, tell me when John leaves. Because as soon as I left, then I'm going over the bridge to the island, and I had a few of the guys with me. And they know they don't carry drugs or alcohol. But then there was some lady. She was actually a fat lady. But she was with the beach patrol. They're officers, those people. So I didn't know she was a fat lady at first. But as I'm going over the bridge into Padre Island, because we're going to go to the beach, do a little fellowship, she turns around from the highway to follow me. I didn't know she was following me. How many times does the beach patrol turn around on the highway to then pursue a possible beach violation? I'm not on the beach yet. So I noticed she's following me. We're on the highway going over the bridge. Then I turned down Whitecap, one of those. She's following me, which was fine. And I stopped to drop one guy off because he was going to get a firm. He said, John, you could just drop me here, and then the other guys were going to go to Bob Hole. As soon as I stopped, She gets out of her vehicle, and the guy had like his little backpack in the trunk. There was nothing illegal. It's the pursuit. Because the cop from the bluff told that lady, pull that guy over. We think he's drunk, something of that nature. Because when I'm opening up the trunk, she then comes around and says, stops. Do you have a beach sticker? Of course, I stopped for a minute. And now, at that point, we're on the island by Whitecap. I said, well, actually, I do, dear. Now, which beach patrol would pull up to somebody with I had one on there, and not look if I had one, but just come right up and ask? So the cop in the bluff said, follow this guy. A little penny ante bullshit. Fucking $80,000 a year to do this shit. And he said, that's what happened. Now, how much time does that take away from actual, real police enforcement? Besides the fucking shit that you'll do. So I had to finally tell that. Because you think it was an arson and then a fucking violation with an animal.